Welcome to the noon hour in the playoffs. It is Soccer's in Session Live, presented by our friends at Kaiser Permanente at KP Georgia on the 280 character app. Kaiser Permanente, for all that is you. It is day 4, round 2. Remember, next week it's quarters and semis to get us to, in 2 weeks' time, McEachern, Duluth, and Mercer. But this is the last day of round number 2. In this show, we're packed. Bottom line, we're packed. It's going to be a visit to Pike County and to catch up with the Pirates. It's going to be a visit at the bottom of the hour to catch up with LaGrange and find out what's going on with a 4 seed that's won twice. And then we'll wrap up with John Bowen, the head coach at Stars Mill, and we'll find out what it's like for a team to continue their march to chasing after another title in the state of Georgia. So quickly, let's go over what happened yesterday. It was even-numbered girls, so it was 2A, 4A, 6A girls. So what happened in 6A on the girls' side? It was a bit of a day for Glen Academy. Glen Academy had the home match, part of a doubleheader against St. Pius. Pius girls won 4-0, and St. Pius advances. They will take on Lassiter at the Frank. Lassiter shuts out Alexander by the final of 4-1. That is upper left in 6A. It is low left. North Atlanta beat Woodward Academy by 6, so North Atlanta advances, and they will go to Ray Manus Stadium to take on Roswell. Roswell beat Habersham Central in Mount Airy. Final there was 3-1. Upper right-hand side, Pope shuts out Jackson County by the final of 3-0. They will travel to Hugh Spalding to take on Marist. Marist, no problem with Grovetown. Shutout there for Marist, so Pope and Marist, low right. Johns Creek shuts out Gainesville 3-0. That one was at Bobby Gruen Field at City Park, so a big win on the road for the 4 seed. Johns Creek will now travel to Riverwood in a battle of 2 4 seeds. Riverwood makes it through, shutting out Lakeside Evans, their second shutout in the postseason. So 2 4 seeds make their way in low right in the bracket for the girls. We had Riverwood on. You remember Maddie Cruz called the Riverwood Wheeler match earlier this season, an 11-goal thriller. Riverwood has made it to the final 8 in 6A girls. Johns Creek and Riverwood coming up on the 29th. So that takes us to Quad A and lets you know what's going on there. Upper left-hand corner in Quad A, Perry. On the SDH Network, shutout Trinity Christian. You can go back and listen to that match on our Mixlr platform, MIXLR. You can either go on the web at soccerdownhere.mixlr.com, or you can download the Mixlr app, follow Soccer Down Here, and listen to all the matches as they're archived, or listen to them live. Listen to them as many times as you want. 2:30 in the morning, you're going down to the fridge, you got some time, go ahead and listen to any of the matches that we've got there on in the archive on the Mixlr channel. They're going to go play Lovett. Lovett beat Holy Innocents by the final of 5-2, and that one was at Lovett, at the Lovett School. So Perry will travel to Atlanta on the 29th, and they will take on the Lovett Lions. Low left, Whitewater beat Islands on the coast by the final of 4-1. They will travel to Cherokee Bluff. Cherokee Bluff shuts out Southeast Whitfield by the final of 2-0. So Whitewater at Cherokee Bluff, Perry at Lovett. Upper right, and this is where one of our guests in the second half of the show will come and hang out with us. North Oconee over Northwest Whitfield by the final of 2-0. North Oconee is going to travel to Stars Mill. And Stars Mill, no problem with Southeast Bullock. And that one was at Stars Mill. So North Oconee and Stars Mill on the 29th. And then low right, Westminster in PKs beats Pace Academy by the final of it was a goalless draw, winning 3-2 in PKs. Westminster will host LaGrange. That's the other part of our interviews at the bottom of the hour. The Grangers have won as a 4 seed, second time in a row. They've scored 17 goals in their first 2 matches, 17-2 the margin. LaGrange will go to Westminster, and that will take care of Quad A, Double A girls. Left-hand side, Worth County and Ace Charter. That one's today. Winner of that one will go to Landmark Christian. Landmark Christian's the 1 seed. Ace Charter and Worth are 2. Ace Charter's a 1. And remember, tiebreaker takes everything down to the bottom part of the bracket. So winner of Worth and Ace Charter, regardless, goes to Landmark Christian. Landmark Christian shut out the Walker School by the final of 3-0. Pierce County beat Dodge County in Blackshear. They will travel to Fellowship Christian. No problem with either side beating Dodge and Fannin County respectively. Right-hand side, Model shuts out Athens Academy 1-0. and they will host Savannah Arts. Savannah Arts as a 2 seed beat Jeff Davis, so Savannah Arts goes to Model. This one also on the 29th, Mount Perrin Christian travels to Fitzgerald. Mount Perrin beats East Jackson by the final of 2-0, and Fitzgerald beat Toombs County by the final of 5-1. So Mount Perrin Christian is at Fitzgerald. That's what happened yesterday. So let's tell you what's going on around the planet. First stop, Zebulon. We bring in a lot of Panthers. We got Coach Hobbs, we got Josh, and we got Luke. Guys, thanks for hanging out with us here. Soccer's in Session Live. We got you out of lunch or class, or what did we do? What did we do here, Coach?
We actually got them out of PE.
Nice. Okay, and so you're in your planning period. They don't get to do PE. They gotta get the little rest and rehab. Well done. That's what this is. That's very cool. So it's a 3-on-1. It's an odd man rush here for about 7 to 10 minutes. When it comes to what's been going on, Coach, down there at Pike County, what's it been like this season? So if we were having this conversation today, and I had told you that going into your next round of the playoffs that you would be 18-3, that you would have blown through the region, winning all 8, and that you'd be top 50 in the state regardless of classification, what would you have told me?
Being honest with you, with this group of guys I knew I had coming up, it really wasn't too big of a shock. These two, especially, they've been with me for the past 4 years, so they know what the expectation is. We've done very well. This will be the 4th year in a row that we've made it to the Elite 8. I believe, yes, 4th year in a row, the Elite 8. So they know how to get there. They know what's been done. These two have also never lost a region game, so they knew what to expect. But it's also been a pleasure having them because they know what to expect, and they've been able to lead everybody this whole season into what's been pretty successful season, be it 18-3.
Josh, let me ask you this. What has it been like over the last couple of seasons? What has the fan support been like there? What's the student support been like? What's it been like to see them embrace what's been going on there at Pike County on the soccer pitch? What's the vibe like down there, as you guys say?
It's really positive. Pike County as a school really they embrace their sports very well. We get a lot of support at the games, and especially from the parents. The parents play a big role in our season, and they help us a lot.
So then, Luke, let me get your perspective on things as a senior, and you've been there for the handful of seasons that you've been a part of the program. What's it been like to see things continue to grow on the field and off to where they are right now? From your perspective, what's it been like?
I mean, it's been pretty great throughout the seasons. People have said, we're probably losing talent, but we feel more connected. And people probably didn't expect us to be as good as we have been this year, but we've overcome the adversity and we've done good.
Coach, the last loss you had January, February, March, April, back on the 4th, on the 22nd. But before then, you had that stretch where I know that coaches like to challenge themselves, and this is a conversation that I like to have with a lot of different coaches, where you look at it where your first season, your non-region schedule, hopefully gets you ready for your region schedule, season 2, which gets you ready for the postseason, season 3. The matchups against Houston County and Oconee County back in February, where you had back-to-back losses, what did you learn about yourself as a unit then that you've been able to carry forward with you the rest of the way this year?
So in years past, if we had lost the way we did to Houston, it would have been a nightmare. But the team, they understand where we're coming from. They understand what we're trying to build. And I asked them before the season, I go, do you guys realize we're going to play Thursday night, Friday night, and then Saturday morning? Do you really want to do this? And they said, absolutely. Let's go for it. We got to get ready for when we go up to Gatlinburg. We have to get ready for challenging competition later on. So they said, let's go. So they knew there was a chance that they would lose to Houston. And, day 3, they're playing Houston, and they lose. And I'm expecting them to have like a little meltdown. But it was different. Like they were smiling there, and they came up to me afterwards. We're all huddled up, and I'll go, boys, how do you feel? And they go, we feel fantastic. And I was like, really? They go, yeah. if we didn't play 3 games back to back here, we win, and we feel good about that. And then we're playing a Coney, and I go, do you guys want to play a Coney? It's during your winter break. And what did they say? They said, absolutely, we want to play a Coney. They're the ones that beat us out last year. We want to play them again. And then as we got close to a Coney, then we lose a player for the year. And then we also lose our goalkeeper. So we're just trying to piecemeal that game. And it was all right. Just like Columbus, when Columbus played them, the score does not reflect how the game's going to go if we play them again.
Josh, let me ask you this. When it comes to the challenges and the rigors of a season, I know that athletes in a lot of different sports, it's like, okay, I need my R&R. I need a couple of days off to rest and recharge and be ready to go for the next one. But as Coach says, he wanted to challenge you guys and play top competition, different classifications, and make sure that you were ready for a postseason run where you're having to play 2 games in 4 matches. You're having to play back-to-backers. You don't know what the weather is going to be like. When you guys stood up and you're like, yeah, go ahead and challenge us. Go ahead and, and throw whatever you want at us. When you and the rest of the players had these conversations away from coach, it's like you're looking at that schedule and you're going, man, it's like you're looking at that piece of paper and you're going, okay, this, and this could be. What were the conversations like with you and your teammates to sit there and go, yeah, we want to be challenged this way? What were those talks like when that schedule came out?
Well, when we plan to play these hard teams, it's just beneficial for the future because I know, through the playoffs, we're going to play harder and harder teams. So it just better prepares us to get ready for the next level, next competition. And with the team we have, we're all very well connected and very supportive of each other. So, a loss like that doesn't really affect us because we just bring each other up and know what to do to prepare the next time we have to play competition like that.
Luke, in the first 2 matches of the postseason so far, obviously, since you're the top seed out of Region 2, you're getting home matches. You beat Savannah Christian 4-1. You beat Thomasville 2 days ago 2-1. Bremen is coming to Zebulon just around the corner, the beginning of next week. For someone who didn't get the chance to go to Zebulon and see these first 2 matches, what has it been like to get through them, to win that first one 4-1, to win that second one 2-1? What were those first 2 matches like for you guys as a group a week apart?
Well, I mean, it was a great relief for us personally because this year, our first 2 rounds have been quite difficult compared to the years in the past. I mean, both the teams we played were pretty well teams, pretty connected teams. First week, Savannah Christian, we played pretty well, put some goals in early, and then just pretty much held the lead the rest of the game. Thomasville, we couldn't score as much, but we pretty much controlled them the entire game and kept going.
So as you get ready for study hall here, Coach, what has study hall been like getting ready for another team coming to Zebulon for the 3rd time here in the playoffs? How much studying have you done so far? How are preps going for the 3rd round?
Well, beginning of the season, I projected us to play Bremen in the Elite Eight at home. I expected that to happen.
Do you fill out brackets for March Madness? Are you that good?
Oh, I was not that good this year, but every year I go ahead and I write it down what I project is going to happen, and I was off a little bit. Didn't expect us to play Savannah Christian first round. They're a very good team. They're actually a very good team. They gave us fits last year until we had a striker who just went off and scored 5 goals in a matter of 20 minutes. And then we had I projected us to play Chris County, but it ended up being Thomasville, and Thomasville was very good. I didn't really expect Thomasville to be as good as they were, but they were very well coached. So it was difficult for us to put it in. So Bremen, I've been studying Bremen all year. Doesn't mean it's going to matter, but we've definitely watched Bremen. We've definitely we knew Bremen was going to enter the tournament that was the Trojan Cup. So we went ahead and joined that, and that's when we played Houston. I thought we were either going to be playing Bremen or Houston on that Saturday, and it ended up being Houston.
Obviously getting ready for Bremen here in round number 3. So let me ask you this, Josh. When Pike County is playing Pike County football, For someone who walks in the door for the first time and sees things offensively and defensively, how would you describe, without giving away any secrets, okay, that's Pike County football? How would you describe what you guys do out there on philosophically out there on the pitch on a day-to-day basis?
I mean, we're a very talkative team. We communicate a lot on the field, and we're constantly moving, opening up, moving the ball around through the midfield, and we just, get the ball, receive it, open up, and you've got a guy screaming, I'm here, I'm open, play my feet, and it's just we communicate so well that it's just easy to move that ball forward.
So then defensively, Luke, I'm gonna ask the guy who's second in goals per match for the squad about defense. When it comes to defense and you backtracking and making sure that you're a part of the defense, what about defensively? We know about the communication aspect offensively. What about defensively? What should folks expect?
I mean, our defense pretty much locks it down most of the game. We're well connected. We talk well. Our outside backs play really good almost every single game, constantly moving up and down the field. I mean, our two center backs talk a lot. One of our Josh is actually a captain, and he's our center back. He helps guide the whole field almost. I mean, they just pretty much stay together and stay structured well, and that helps us going up and down the field.
No doubt about it. So my last question, and Coach, thanks for getting Josh and Luke out of PE and keeping them in a climate controlled environment to hang out with us here. What are folks missing out on by not? I mean, I know that you might want to kind of be a bit of a state secret in AAA, even though I don't know if you really are anymore, considering the successes that you've had. But for someone who has never been to Zebulon, for someone who's never seen Pike County play, what are folks missing out on in one of those hidden gems, I like to say, when it comes to the state of Georgia, to where the sport is growing the way that it has? What are folks missing out on by not looking at Pike County and Zebulon football?
Well, I'll be honest with you. You come to us, you're going to think there's nothing here. There's 2 red lights in the entire county.
Check.
We are middle of nowhere. We're the only school that didn't do anything for COVID shutting down because we had no internet. I think I got internet at my house for the first time less than a year ago. Mm-hmm. So out in the middle of nowhere, the only thing to really do is play. And that's what they do. They pick their sports, whether it's baseball, football, soccer, anything. They just go out there and they play. But what we've seen in the past, what we've been building, not just on the boys' side, the girls' side, teams want to play. You have teams like Stars Mill, Whitewater, McIntosh that everybody knows, and they're reaching out and they're saying, would you like to play? A couple of years ago, I guess we made a huge upset and beat Whitewater. And within an hour, I had McIntosh asking for a game. I had Southeast Whitfield asking for a game. I had all these schools. I'm sorry, my schedule's kind of full. But I appreciate it, and I like the fact that we're getting seen, we're getting noticed, and I appreciate that because these boys deserve it. They've done a very good job, as their record reflects. But yeah, I've come out, see it, and it's something different. It's something special. These guys are super smart, and any kind of crazy tactic thing that I want to do, they're like, yeah, I can understand that. Let's try it. And sometimes it works.
A crazy tactic thing that I want to do. Do I even want to go down this road and ask?
We changed our formation, it seems like 5 times this year, doing random things based off personnel, and it just seems to be working no matter what we do.
And we've seen the work go so far. Kevin Hobbs, the head coach, Luke Mann, second leading scorer, and Josh, I've heard it a bunch of different ways. When your mom's mad at you, how does she pronounce your last name?
Tamarkio.
Okay, so it is Mann, Tamarkio, and Hobbs, the law firm that is part of leading Pike County into round number 3 in the AAA playoffs. Guys, thanks for ditching PE. Coach, thanks for wrangling them. Great to catch up with you, and thanks for being on In Session Live here during the noon hour. Go get some lunch, gentlemen. Go get some lunch. You've made it. You survived. The interview's over.
Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
Be good. That's the story down there in Zebulon, and that's awesome. It's great to be able to share those kind of stories. And full credit to Coach Hobbs, because, by the way, the way that things have been going here in the playoffs, just to kind of pull back the curtain a little bit, I'll see a team that wins and I'll sit there and go, okay, I need to email these individuals. And so I'll end up emailing the individuals like, say, 11:45, midnight, 12, 12:15, 12:30. And, it is completely and totally at the mercy of the email system and trying to figure out how to get guests. And so I give full credit to, Coach Hobbs. Because you're hoping that the links are correct when it goes. It's like email Coach Hobbs, and you're hoping that the email is correct and that you're not mistyping anything. But full credit, and he's like, "Do you want some players?" And that would be great. And so full credit to Coach Hobbs for getting Josh just it's I am completely and totally indebted to coaches in general when it comes to this time of year for spending their time away. You get Luke Mann, you get Josh coming in, and you get Coach Hobbs. But no, fantastic to get the story down there in AAA about one of those teams that you kind of need to pay attention to when it comes to AAA on the boys side. And just to give you the update as to AAA boys, Pike County with those 2 wins, they're going to host Bremen. That's going to be on the 30th. So 4 days time. That's going to be on Tuesday. And they are upper left AAA boys. They're going to play upper left. Savannah Country Day is at Hebron Christian. That's low left. And the team that on the right-hand side, Oconee County and Morgan County, that's going to be at Morgan County on the 30th. And then low right in AAA, Coahulla Creek is going to Columbus. So Coahulla Creek is going from Dalton to Columbus. That is AAA boys. That is the 30th. And that is what we are that's what we're looking at in AAA boys. Coming up around the corner, bottom of the hour, trips to LaGrange and to Stars Mill, where we catch up with folks. 4 seeds working their way through, and it is great work by them. And so, once again, thanks to Coach Hobbs and thanks to everybody down there in Zebulon. But I had to kind of tell you, I had to kind of pull back the curtain a little bit about availabilities. And so, great to catch up with our folks down there in Pike County. All right, so 2A, 4A, 6A boys is today. So what is going on 2A, 4A, 6A boys, you may ask, plus a couple of the scragglers that have been left over. In AA boys, upper left-hand corner, Fitzgerald is at Spencer. Fannin County hosts Fellowship Christian. Fannin County, the 3 seed, hosts Fellowship, the 4. Fellowship beat Landmark in round number 1. That is upper left in AA. Low left, Berrien is at Toombs County. Toombs County, both of these teams, Berrien and Toombs, had big margins of victory in round number 1. Toombs County is hosting in Lyons. Drew Charter is played East Jackson 1-3-2 yesterday in East Jackson. So Drew Charter advances, and Drew is the 3 seed. So depending on what happens, if Toombs County wins, they host the next round. If Berrien wins, it's at Drew Charter because they're both 3 seeds. So keep an eye on that. In the upper right-hand corner, Model beat Union by the final of 1-0. So as the home side, Model waits because they're the 1 seed. Pierce is at Putnam. Pierce is a 2 seed. Putnam is a 1. If Pierce wins, it's at Model. If Putnam wins, it's in Eatonton. Also on the board today, Providence Christian and the Walker School. That one is at the Walker School. Appling County and Jeff Davis. We had Coach Lawson on earlier this week from Jeff Davis. Get a ticket now because you might not get a seat. Appling County, Baxley, and Hazelhurst, 19 miles apart. They are anticipating a hot crowd at that particular game, and I'm looking forward to that one in AA boys. Quad A boys on the board. It is LaGrange hosting Southeast Bullock. Southeast Bullock is a 4 seed. LaGrange is a 3. Northwest Whitfield, the 3, hosting Cedar Shoals, the 4. So you got 3s and 4s, upper left in Quad A. Low left, Whitewater beat Islands 5-1. So Whitewater advances as the 2 seed. They're going to play the winner of Druid Hills and Johnson Gainesville. Druid Hills beat Cedartown. Johnson Gainesville beat Stockbridge in the opening round. Druid Hills, who we've had on the SDH network a couple of times, travels to the Dungeon. The winner of that one, if it's Johnson Gainesville, it's at the Dungeon next round. That's the left-hand side in Quad A. Upper right-hand corner, Holy Innocents is at East Forsyth. Benedictine is at Stars Mill. So it's a busy day for Stars Mill this last 2 days. Low right, Lovett and Westminster, the Battle of Paces Ferry. And that one is at Fritz Orr Field. And Westminster beat Heritage Catoosa round 1. Lovett beat Cherokee Bluff. So Lovett at Westminster. Wayne County is at Bainbridge. Bainbridge made their way through, but they had to go to PKs to beat Troop. Wayne County beat Perry's boys in round number 1. 6A boys. St. Pius is at Glen Academy. That one is the back end of the doubleheader with the boys and the girls. That one is tonight at Glen County Memorial Stadium. And thanks to Steve Waters for helping us out with the scores yesterday. St. Pius at Glen Academy. Lassiter is at South Paulding. Low left, Marist is at Woodward. Sprayberry is in Mount Airy to take on Habersham Central. Upper right, North Forsyth is at Johns Creek. Grovetown is at North Atlanta. Low right, Gainesville and River Ridge. Gainesville boys, River Ridge boys. This one is the matchup of the day in the 2, the 4, and the 6. Gainesville and River Ridge at River Ridge. South Effingham is hosting Riverwood. Riverwood coming in as a 4 in both the boys and the girls. Riverwood beating South Effingham. Riverwood meeting South Effingham and in Guyton to take on South Effingham today. And that is the schedule for today. The 2A, the 4A, and the 6A boys. And really looking forward to all of these matchups today when it comes to all of the activity here in day 4, round 2 of the GHSA playoffs here in 2024. Once again, this is Soccer's in Session Live, brought to us by our friends at Kaiser Permanente at KP Georgia on the social medias. And thanks to them for being great partners and great sponsor for all of us, for all the different levels that we have here at SDH, all the different levels of broadcast. And Kaiser Permanente is right there with us every single step of the way. And we can't thank them enough for being fantastic partners with us and showing off the beautiful game all across the board here in the state of Georgia. So once again, thanks to them and thanks to all of you guys. We're going to be back on Monday, obviously. And we're going to break everything down when it comes to all of the classifications, because Monday, Tuesday, we're back at it with quarterfinals. And then Wednesday, everybody's off. Then Thursday, Friday is the semifinals. When we know where we are going to be, we will let you know. And we're going to be putting out all of our feelers. And when it comes to where we'd like to be and what we can do, but we're going to keep an eye on it all. And when we know where we are going to be, we will let you know as well here across the network. So that's what you're staring at when it comes to a very quick turnaround. And that's going to be part and parcel to all of this activity that you have here. Last day is today, and then you turn around and you're playing Monday, Tuesday for your quarterfinals, Wednesday's off, and then you have to turn back around quickly and play semifinals Thursday, Friday before the finals next week or 2 weeks. And it's going to be either at Duluth, McEachern, and Mercer. And there's going to be a lot of SDH impact and footprint and personalities and ties and all that kind of stuff. You're going to hear Jarrett. You're going to see Jarrett. You're going to see Maddie. You're going to see Jason. Jess will be a part of the championships. Luke Winston will be a part of the championships. Justin Hanover and Jason, I think, are calling 7A. So you're going to have a big SDH influence when it comes to the matches that are going to be called across the network, across the NFHS network, and with the championships and the semifinals coming up in a short order. Once again, trip to LaGrange coming up here in a couple of minutes, catching up with John Callahan. Then after that, it's John Bowen from Stars Mill as we kind of break things down on the girls' side after what happened over the last couple of days. Then you've got to get ready. You've got to turn back around. And there are some 4 seeds that have made some noise. Northside Columbus have made some noise as a 4 seed coming out of their particular bracket and winning twice. And so Northside Columbus gets to go to Tucker. And that was their reward for being a seed that made it through and got to get some work done on the girls' side of things. And so, when you have a Northside Columbus team that was going to win twice, they tried to do it on the boys' side. They do it on the girls' side, beating Dutchtown. They beat Tucker, and then they get GAC. So Northside Columbus travels to Stockbridge. Then they go back home. They travel to Adams Stadium in Northeast Atlanta, winning 4-1. And then they're going to be traveling to Gwinnett County for their next matchup in the 5A girls class next time out of the blocks when they play on 7, 8, 9. So if today's Friday the 26th, 27, 20, Monday. So literally it's Monday, Northside Columbus as a 4 seed is working their way up and through. And you're seeing, and that's the beauty, and that's the fun part of all of this, is that you get to see these teams that come in as 4 seeds. Riverwood coming in as a 4 seed on both the boys and the girls side, making some noise. And so it's fun to see this time of year and see who are these Cinderella teams that we talk about. But there are times where teams will try to strategize and figure out ways to problem solve through season 1 and season 2. And they might be a lower seed than a lot of folks might have anticipated. And you have to do things on the road. And you're seeing that coming up in season 3. So very, very cool stuff across the board when it comes to all of the different approaches and all of the different ways to attack what's going on. So very, very cool stuff across the board when it comes to the different approaches and who's going to be doing what where and all this kind of stuff. And so, we mentioned what's going on here with the even-numbered girls and the even-numbered boys. Let's take you through some of the other matchups. Let's go, since we're going to be talking girls for the rest of the show, let's talk girls on Monday. 7A, North Gwinnett is hosting Harrison. We had North Gwinnett's girls matchup with Mill Creek on earlier this week here on the SDH Network. Right-hand side, North Paulding is going to go to West Forsyth. Hillgrove is going to go to Buford. Campbell is going to Walton. All of those are slated for Monday across the board on the girls' side. We mentioned 6A, 5A girls. Northside Columbus GAC, we mentioned that one. Northgate's going to Jefferson. Loganville's going to McIntosh. Cambridge is going to Greenbrier. AAA girls, this one is on Monday as well. Pike County's girls, Coach Hobbs mentioned the girls program as well. They host Dawson County. Savannah Country Day to Oconee County on the girls' side. It is Wesleyan hosting St. Vincent's. Wesleyan's offense has been prolific, to say the very least, this year. And then also it is Bremen at Columbus. In Division A, in Class A, we'll go Division 1, then Division 2 on the girls' side. Once again, these are on Monday. East Lawrence is at Social Circle. Mount Vernon is at Metter. Atlanta International is in Barnesville at Lamar County. Bleckley County travels to Paideia. Also in Class A D2 girls, Aquinas and Portal on the left-hand side. Towns County goes to Hawkinsville. It is Wheeler County and Lake Oconee Academy, and it is Johnson County traveling to Atlanta Classical. On the boys' side, looking at things in 7-5-3 single and single, it is Campbell hosting Lambert on the boys' side in 7A on Tuesday. Milton goes to Archer on Tuesday. Discovery is at Grayson on Tuesday. Kennesaw Mountain travels to Colquitt County. It was great to catch up with Coach Simpson down there in Moultrie to find out what's going on with the Packers. 5A boys, it is Eagles Landing at Midtown, and these are all Tuesday. Dalton is at McIntosh. Cass is at Tucker, and Decatur is at Chattahoochee. 3A boys, once again, this is Tuesday. Bremen is at Pike County. Savannah Country Day Hebron Christian. Coney County is at Morgan County. Coahulla Creek is at Columbus. In Class A D1 boys, it is East Lawrence hosting Paideia. Woodville Tompkins, who beat Temple last night 7-2, and it was a field day for Luis Lopez, by the way, for Woodville Tompkins. We'll try to catch up with Woodville Tompkins on Monday. Mount Vernon beats Tallulah Falls. They travel to Woodville Tompkins on the coast. Whitfield Academy is at Lamar County, and Jefferson County is at Atlanta International. Class A D2 boys, once again Tuesday. Atlanta Classical is at Wheeler County. It is the Fuji's Academy, who had to go 11 frames to knock off Aquinas, winning 11-10 in PKs. They will travel to Pearson to take on Atkinson County. Hopefully we can catch up with Coach McKinney. It's a great story on the boys' side there. Right-hand side, it is Macon County at Georgia Military. Eccles County is at Christian Heritage. And we mentioned pack a lunch, a dinner, and a midnight snack trip if it is Eccles County and Christian Heritage, because you are going from one end of the world. You are going from Statenville. You are going from Statenville all the way up to Dalton. Statenville to Dalton. That is what is going on with Eccles County and their trip to Christian Heritage. So that is your rundown of all of the matchups on the boys' side, on the girls' side. All of the even numbers are Tuesday, and the odd numbers are Tuesday in your quarterfinals, and so it'll be very, very busy on the 30th, just as busy in the even numbers, just as easy in the odd numbers. If I could get all my numbers straight, we'd be in business today. But the odd numbers are Monday. The even numbered quarterfinals are Tuesday, and that's where we are. So coming up in short order, we're going to be hopefully catching up with our friends from LaGrange, John Bowen from Stars Mill coming up after that. So it's going to be a sprint to the finish today here on a Soccer's in Session. It'll be great to catch up with John Callahan and find out what's going on with his girls' side and with what we've seen with Callahan and, well, like I said, what we said with 4 seeds, when you end up with 4 seeds working their way through. And these 2 teams, if things work out a certain way, you know what we may do? We may have them on simultaneously, because if they are both on the right-hand side of the bracket in Quad A. And it could be a situation where if the 4 seed continues to win in LaGrange right now, they are low right. And it is low right LaGrange as a 4 seed going up against the possibility of playing. It's the winner of LaGrange at Westminster. That's at Fritz Orr Field. And that one's on Monday. And the winner of North Oconee and Stars Mill, and that one is at Stars Mill High School, once again, on Monday. We're covering the right-hand side of the bracket when it comes to everything going on in Quad A girls with our next 2 guests, hopefully, if technology will behave here coming up in just a little bit. We'll catch up with both of the coaches for Stars Mill and for LaGrange, and we'll discuss what's going on with both of these programs and find out what's been the success for LaGrange getting to knock off 2 4 seeds. And LaGrange came into it being a 4-3 in region, coming in as a 4 seed, 10-8 overall. And Stars Mill, once again, we've had Stars Mill on the network a couple of times this season. Saw them early, saw them later with the matchups against McIntosh. And so we've got the chance to see Stars Mill respected nationally when it comes to the program that has been built there. And it's been fun to see the program evolve over a season and grow into the changes from graduation and such, and be able to see what's going on with both of these programs. But like I said, we're going to be catching up hopefully with LaGrange in short order and the Stars Mill after that, because Coach Bowen only has a half hour for lunch. And so we have Coach Bowen for a couple of minutes, and then hopefully Coach Callahan can let us know what's going on down there at LaGrange when a 4 seed gets their way through and can absolutely make inroads. Like I said, it's the fun part of the season when you get to see a lot of 4 seeds work their way through. You get to see different kinds of folks make their way into the postseason, folks that have not been in the postseason or haven't made deep runs in the postseason, those kinds of things. So I think that it's it's fun for those of us who follow the sport, and it's also fun for those of us who are filling out all of our brackets and all these things too, that you end up with the matchups being what they are across the board. And but it's like I said, we saw it with Northside Columbus, and they've beaten Tucker. They're going to be playing GAC. So that's where we're at. The 4 seeds making inroads. We're seeing a lot of 3s get first round wins this year. Seeing some 4s. Like I said, we talked about Riverwood, Northside Columbus, LaGrange, a part of the discussion as well. So it's been really interesting to see the lower seeds work their way through, and the travel aspect of it is also something that you're looking at and you're paying attention to, because you're going on these, as my dear friend Tommy Palmer used to say, a pack a lunch and a dinner trip. And a lot of times, like Eccles County to Christian Heritage, that's pack a lunch, a dinner, and a midnight snack. You're taking a complete day away from Statenville, Georgia. You're traveling to Christian Heritage to play a game to hopefully get into the Final Four in your classification in your division. And you're going from one end of the planet to the other. Temple goes from west to east. And I don't just mean like from one end of 285 to the other. You end up with Temple going. Temple is basically the last exit on I-20, like you're heading to Birmingham, one of the last major exits. That's Temple. You go out I-20, Like you're heading to Bremen and you'll go north. That's Temple. Temple had to go from Temple across I-20 down to I-16 and out to Woodville Tompkins and Savannah to play. And you can understand how difficult it might be in these situations to go from one end of the state to the other, especially in a 1-4 situation. So we're going to go to waste no time. We are in a no dilly, no dally zone. And for this, we go to Stars Mill and catch up with Coach Bowen. Coach, thanks for dropping by in session.
Hey, no problem. I think you're having me.
I know. I know that you're limited because of lunchroom duty. So, like I said, no dilly, no dally zone. And
Okay.
the other coach that we have slated for today is below you in the bracket, and he's come through as a 4 seed. And that's the beauty of the beauty of the season. It was unintentional. I'm like, okay, who can I grab today? Who can I email to come in on the show? And thankfully, you answered. As a part of this. But when you look at the season that you've had, I know the expectations for you are perennially high.
Mm.
What have you learned about yourself in this season, knowing that you want to be in the last match of the year in your classification? What have you learned about yourself?
I think we've done been a lot more successful than maybe we thought we would be, because we had a lot of turnover from last year. We had basically a whole new group coming in. The concern at the beginning of the year was how everybody was going to gel and merge, and what kind of team we were going to have. There were so many new faces, and so what was really nice is from day one, those girls hit the field and were just energetic, excited, positive, loved playing with each other, on the field, off the field, get along. So it was really a chemistry mix from the beginning that really worked well. And they all have high aspirations and things they want to do, not just now, but later and moving forward in soccer and other things. And so they just really kind of feed off that for each other and push each other to excel. So that was the biggest thing that we learned. And that we got a picture of that day one, and it's just kind of grown and gotten better each day.
19 matches played, if my math is correct, during a lunch hour on a Friday. and you've only given up 11 goals all season. How many folks have come up to you or texted you or DM'd you and said, dude, that is insane?
I didn't really start thinking about it until about halfway through the season. We got into the region slate and kept putting zeros up, and I was like, oh wow, we really haven't given up many goals. But it's all subjective, and a lot of times we got maybe not matchups that favored us and that kind of thing. We've got a good solid defense. They're young. We've got a senior in the back that's leading them. Everybody believes in each other. We all know our roles now, so we've done a good job about talking about basic concepts that we wanted to make sure and maintain the whole time. And so if you get the little things right in the back, then a lot of times everything else comes together. And what's really nice is one of the coaches complimented me after a game, was like, I have never seen forwards work so hard defensively in my life. And he's like, how do you get to do that? Mine don't want to do anything but stand up there and score. I was like, well, I have the luxury that if they do that, I have somebody else I can put in, and they won't. So it's really kind of pushed each other. They figured it out early, because pull somebody off and they're, well, why did I come off? It's like, well, you're only working on one side of the ball. You got to work on both. And so when we're in a groove and we're really working and playing well, then you'll see a very tenacious defense that really gets after it when we don't have the ball, and then does everything in their power to keep it once we get it.
How long, with all of these new faces coming in and integrating and all this kind of stuff, how long did it take for you to get to full song with a starting 11 that you knew was going to hit fifth gear, like the second you got onto the field? Or is it still things that you're working out here in season 3?
It's still some things we can kind of sort out as we go. I mean, we have a good, solid starting 11 now that I'm comfortable with, and I think the girls are comfortable with. We've used for a while. But we also have 2-3 players on the bench that could easily step in, and without, we wouldn't miss a beat. And so that's been the big luxury we had this year. Most of our girls, almost all of our girls, play either ECNL or Academy GA. And so they all know each other from growing up. They've all played together at one time or another. 7 play on one team together, 2 play on another team together. And the ones that don't play with anybody are just, people that everybody else likes to get along with and play with. And so the way they want to play merge together, how they want to play goes together. They complement each other real well. So we knew early on we were going to have a pretty good team, or we could, depending on how things go. Because you never know with injuries. We've got one that's out, for the season right now, who was starting for us early. But we really probably didn't settle down until after we got through the region slate. Just more so than anything, I wanted to make sure everybody had the opportunity to kind of show what they could do. And once we got through that and started, got to the non-region games after, the state playoff seedings were settled, then we kind of settled into a starting 11 and a definitive rotation and that kind of thing.
Half of the goals, or slightly more than half the goals you gave up this season, were in the 2 losses to McIntosh and to Harrison. What'd you learn about yourself in those 2 matches?
Well, both matches, we didn't quite have the mentality that we had in other games. For whatever reason, we've had a bit of an unlucky streak against McIntosh for a while now. So we play them and everybody's like, oh my goodness. And Harrison, we knew was a top team, and several girls had teammates that played on that team. So we knew they were really good, and they were having a great year too. And so both times we kind of got behind the 8 ball, and the Harrison game, first half in particular, we got down on ourselves for the first time. We made a mistake and gave up a goal, and suddenly everybody's mad and upset, or oh my gosh, how are we going to do this now? And so that was the first time we'd really kind of dealt with that. And we played much better in the second half in both instances, but we just did not play like ourselves for the full 80. So we've pretty much made it a focus now that it's not who we play, it's how we play. And that's our focus every practice, every warm up, every game. Let's make sure we do the things that we know that we do well and push ourselves in that regard, and everything else will take care of itself.
First 2 matchups on the board, you put 19 goals in. You haven't given up 1. What can you learn about yourself? We mentioned what you can learn about yourself with losses. What can you learn about yourself in 2 dominant wins as you get ready for another home match here in round number 3?
We kind of had an idea it might go that way. A couple of the teams that we were playing, had a 4 seed and a 2 seed, and we knew that their areas didn't have much club soccer. I think, a couple girls sprinkled in, but not many of these teams. And so our big focus was mentality. What we have standards. Are we playing to the standard, or are we playing to the opposition? And so we also made an emphasis in practice that, all right, we might not get pushed like we know we will later. We definitely can push ourselves. And so every day we pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed and tried to make sure that we were, giving everything that we had each day, so that if we get to those games, and we get to the game Monday against North Oconee coming up, now we know that, we have to be on point. We've got to be locked in. And we've been trying to prepare ourselves mentally for that in the entire time.
So what has study hall been like getting ready for this one coming up on Monday?
Well, we played them in the scrimmage at the beginning of the year, so we're familiar with each other. They know who our best players are. We know who theirs are. Ben's a good guy, good coach. He's also a Liverpool fan like I am, so we get along in that regard. So we're all about it. But I mean, we have an idea what's coming. Just talking to a couple people a little bit, they've been keen to tell me that they're not exactly set up the way they were early, that kind of thing. Neither one of us are going to be the same team, even with the starting 11 from then till now. If they were exactly the same, which they're not in either case, you're still going to be a different team by then. You've figured out too many things. You've grown. Your freshmen are no longer freshmen. Your sophomores are no longer sophomores. Everybody's got that year and experience under the belt. And the first time we were stepping into it, we're playing, somebody that's won 2 or 3 state championships in the last 5 years and was the state runner-up the year before. And so that was our first eye-opening experience as a group. Is like, hey, they can play. We've got to be ready. But now we've done that, 10 times, and so we're more prepared in that regard. But know that it almost works against us. I'm the scrimmage. We scored more than they did, but we said at the beginning of the playoffs, no games matter at this point. You're 0-0, no wins, no losses. Here we go. It's a 1-game season from here on out. And the team that reps its head around that best on Monday will have the advantage.
So I know I'm not supposed to mention the Merseyside Derby from last time in this interview. So I'll ask you this. Who's going to be the next manager of Liverpool replacing Jurgen Klopp?
Oh, it looks like that guy out of Holland. I didn't know anything about him, and I didn't really know anything about the guy from Portugal they were talking about early. I was really wanting Alonso from Leverkusen, but he shot that down. So, I'm a Liverpool fan. I've been through some crazy years. It's kind of funny. I got started when I was like 16, 18 because they had that old, English Soccer League review show every Saturday or Sunday. I don't remember what day it came on, but I watched that. And at that time, Liverpool was finishing up a 10-year run where they won 5, 6 championships and 12, 13 trophies. And so I was like, oh, yeah, that's my team. And when they fell off a little bit, I was like, no, we're sticking with them. So I've stayed with them the whole time. Really enjoyed Klopp. I think he's a mastermind. I don't think he gets the credit. He gets a lot of credit, but I don't think he gets the credit he deserves. And it's been a growing experience just watching and listening to him, watching him come in, seeing how he deals with losses and setbacks. And And my favorite thing is every little interview he does, they always try to pin him down. Are you out of the race? Are you in the race? He was like, well, if we keep playing like we've been playing, nobody's going to be a champion like that. And I 100% agree with that. So it's been fun. I really enjoy it. My wife and my daughter we all joined we're all members of the Liverpool Football Club. And we actually made a trip over there this summer and got to tour the stadium and meet Ian Kelligan. And we had a good old time.
Nice. So, yeah, it is looking like it's Arne Sloot from Feyenoord and not Ruben Amorim. So we'll see what's going on. I know you got a jet because it's almost toward the end of your period. Thanks for coming on in the rush here. And we'll keep an eye on you on Monday. We'll catch up with you soon. Thanks for dropping by.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
There goes John Bowen. He's the head coach at Stars Mill. He's got like 6 minutes left in his period to try and maybe wolf down a sandwich or something. And so that's how it looks in the upper part of the bracket in the classification in Quad A girls. And so Stars Mill hosting North Oconee. You get the 4-1-1 on that, and we'll see what's going on with the rest of the brackets. Like I said, when we know what our matchup is going to be on Monday and Tuesday, we have to send a note to the GHSA and ask to do a particular matchup. And so we are looking at this matchup. We're looking at this matchup, and then we can project out once the matchups are completed. I think the Thursday matchup, we'll let them know like overnight on Monday, early Tuesday morning. And then next week, the matchup on Friday, we'll let them know like overnight, Tuesday night, Wednesday morning, and hopefully we can get the matchups that we're looking for. But yeah, 4 matchups is the plan here in the SDH network coming up this week. And so we're really going to be looking forward to seeing how things are with these the matchup spaced out a week. The next week you're playing 2 in a week, and then you're playing for a championship. And then it's hopefully as much rest as humanly possible when you're trying to figure things out across the board. So once again, today, the action today, it is day 4 of round number 2. Once again, 2A, 4A, 6A boys. 2A, 4A, 6A boys. And if you're in the vicinity, and this is something that we always say when it comes to matchups and when it comes to supporting your local sides, if you are in the area and you got something, if you got some time, go check out your local clubs. Let's run through 2A, 4A, 6A boys one more time before we go, and let you know what else is going on around the planet. But once again, later today, here on the network, Maddie and I will be at Reformation. We'll be at Reformation Brewing up in Canton, and we are going to help kick off Georgia Impact's 2024 WPSL season. And so it's going to be fun to catch up with all of them up north and see what's going on with Georgia Impact. So we'll have that going on. But 2A, 4A, 6A boys. In 2A, Fitzgerald is at Spencer. So Fitzgerald's probably already on the road. Fellowship Christian is at Fannin County. Low left, Berrien is at Toombs. Both teams scored in double digits in round number 1. That game is in Lyons. And then Drew Charter beat East Jackson in East Jackson. So Drew Charter advances. And Drew Charter, hang on just a second. All right, Drew Charter, now that I've cleared my throat, you're trying to balance proper hydration and talking, and it doesn't quite always work out. Berrien's at Toombs County. Drew Charter beat East Jackson by the final of 3-2, and so Drew Charter advances. Drew is a 3. So if Berrien wins, it's at Drew. If Toombs County wins, it's in Lyons. Right-hand side, Model beat Union County in Model 1-0. Model's the top seed. If Pierce County beats Putnam in Eatonton, then it will be in Model. If Putnam wins at home, Model and Putnam County would be in Eatonton on Tuesday. Also, low right, Providence Christian's at the Walker School, and Appling County is at Jeff Davis. So winners there. If Jeff Davis wins, it's in Hazelhurst, regardless of what's going on in the rest of the state. So Providence Christian, Walker, Appling County, Jeff Davis. Jeff Davis has the coin flip, and they would be the one to host in the Final Four in AA boys. Quad A boys, upper left, Southeast Bullock is at LaGrange. Cedar Shoals is at Northwest Whitfield. We had Northwest Whitfield on the network earlier this season, and we know what's going on with those two. So Southeast Bullock is at LaGrange. LaGrange is a 3 seed. Southeast Bullock is a 4. Northwest Whitfield is a 3. Cedar Shoals is a 4. So you got 3s and 4s battling it out upper left to figure out, okay, who's going to be doing what. On the board on low left, Whitewater beat Islands already down on the coast. So Whitewater advances. Whitewater's a 2 seed, and they will play the winner of Druid Hills and Johnson Gainesville in the dungeon tonight. Johnson Gainesville's a 1. Everything trickles down that way. Whitewater's a 2. If Druid Hills upsets Johnson Gainesville, it's at Whitewater. If Johnson Gainesville wins, Whitewater plays at Johnson Gainesville next week. East Forsyth is going to host Holy Innocents. Benedictine is hosting Stars Mill on the boys' side, and East Forsyth is a 2. Benedictine is a 2. Stars Mill is a 1. So Holy Innocents would be the only one that would upset this entire apple cart. East Forsyth is a 2. Everything trickles down to Stars Mill and Benedictine. If East Forsyth wins, it's a 2. If Benedictine wins in a 2, it goes to Benedictine. Holy Innocents is the 4. Holy Innocents would travel to either Benedictine or Stars Mill upper right. Lower right, Lovett's at Westy. That one's at Fritz Orfield. Wayne County is at Bainbridge. That's Jessup to Bainbridge. That's pack a lunch and a dinner. Hopefully they are, say, Quitman or Albany or somewhere in that realm of travel. So Lovett at Westminster, Wayne County at Bainbridge. Those 2 winners square off next week. 6A boys. It is St. Pius at Glen Academy. That's later today at Glen County Memorial Stadium. Lassiter's at South Paulding. That is upper left taken care of. Marist is at Woodward Academy. Sprayberry is at Habersham Central in Mount Airy. Those are the 2 there. Now, upper right, North Forsyth, Johns Creek. Johns Creek is a 1. Grovetown and North Atlanta. North Atlanta is a 1. Everything trickles down to North Atlanta unless Grovetown upsets North Atlanta. Then everything gets reconfigured. North Forsyth is a 2. Johns Creek is a 1. Grovetown is a 3. North Atlanta is a 1. So everything works its way down to North Atlanta if chalk holds. Gainesville River Ridge, the match of the day. Gainesville, 3-0 winners over East Paulding. And they are going to River Ridge. River Ridge is a 1. Top 5 ranked nationally. Got to catch up with Coach Thomas back on Wednesday. And Gainesville, match of the year on the SDH network. The Gainesville-Johnson-Gainesville match. Gainesville wins, and they go to River Ridge. 3 out of 1, match of the day. If you are anywhere near River Ridge High School, go see this match. I'm not kidding. Go see that match. South Effingham is hosting Riverwood in Guyton. Riverwood's a 4 seed. They had to go to Kathleen in round number 1. They get to go even further in round number 2. So once again, everything works its way toward River Ridge because South Effingham's a 2, Riverwood's a 4. River Ridge being the top seed left in that quadrant. Everything trickles to River Ridge. That opened up with veterans losing to Riverwood in round number 1. That opened that whole quadrant up for River Ridge. And if you want to project a little further, once again, Johns Creek, North Atlanta, they're both 1 seeds, but everything works its way down to River Ridge. River Ridge keeps its way in control of everything. They get the semifinal. So quarterfinal, semifinal, coin flip went to the bottom part of the bracket. Everything is drifting toward River Ridge to host on the right-hand side in 6A. So that is Soccer's in Session for today. Soccer's in Session will be back on Monday at noon. We'll go through everything that's happened. We'll get you set up for the quarterfinals. It is odds and evens, and we are that much closer to getting you your champions in both classifications. It will be the odd numbered on Tuesday. 7A boys is Tuesday. 6A boys is Tuesday. 5A boys, Tuesday. 4A boys, Tuesday. 3A boys, Tuesday. AA boys, Tuesday. Class A D2, Tuesday. Class A D1, Tuesday. Girls brackets, Once again, everything should line up for the 29th on the girls' side. Everything is boys on the 30th. Everything is girls on Monday, the 29th. So that's where we are after today. So Soccer's in Session, presented by our friends at Kaiser Permanente, is going to set you up for the girls' quarters on Monday, set you up for the boys' quarters on Tuesday. We will be flying. We will be flying and catching up with coaches all over the place, getting you ready for everything going on here with Soccer is in Session live. And thanks to John Bowen from Stars Mill, and thanks to Coach Hobbs and everybody down there at Pike County for hanging out with us for another go-round of Soccer's in Session. So that is it, presented by our friends at Kaiser Permanente. Thanks for hanging out with us. We'll be back Monday, noon, with Soccer's in Session. Back Monday, noon at 9:05 Eastern with the SDH on the Morning Show. Atlanta United 2 action on Sunday afternoon. Maddie Knight Reformation later today to unveil Georgia Impact in the WPSL for 2024. So for everybody here at SDH, I'm just John. Thanks for hanging out with us for another go-round of Soccer's in Session live as we roll through the playoffs. Play it safe, everybody. Enjoy your time. And if you're near a match, go check it out. It's some of the best soccer high school sides in the country. Play it safe. We'll see you later.